please like and subscribe, and feel free to leave a comment. I read all of the comments. And now, let's get on with the show. When last we left our intrepid adventurers, in Sylvia's Rest, Scala is taking a walk. She knows the city well and remembers when it was nothing more than a few ruins and a small temple of Chaldasea. Many in the village know her. Some smile at her, others avert their gaze. Possibly people who believe that Manthuthian women can bewitch humans and make them their slaves. Scala smiles to herself at that thought. She is on the southern side of the town. Not much is built out here yet. Most things are on the north side, where the bay and the dock is. She walks the southern road and veers off at a seldom used path. After a few minutes, she comes to an old shack. She knocks at the door and is told to enter. The inside of the shack is spick and span and actually much nicer than it looks like outside. Most surfaces are covered with books. The man she has come to see sits in an overstuffed armchair. He motions for her to sit as well. He smiles at her. Scala remembers that Kebradane is not as he seems. He looks like a youth, but that is a trick of some kind. He is much older than he appears. He rings a bell, and a Manthuthian maid comes in with a steaming pot of chai. He pours them both a cup, and then shoos the Manthuthian maid away. He comments to Scala as the maid leaves that the local hearth believes that this one can someday be a mage. All who are talented must be trained, he quotes from the Warpick Guild Charter. Scala nods, says that she remembers that tenet of the Warpick Guild's charter when he was trying to recruit her for the guild. But then he stopped. Why is that, she asks, as she sips her tea. She puts her cup down and says, "Did you stop trying to recruit me when you were told to kill me?" Meanwhile, in Mountain Vale, when Kimmy wakes up in the morning, Kevin is gone from his bedroll, and she hears the usual sounds of the camp waking up. As she emerges, Mercy says good morning, and she sees Finn over in a corner sitting on a pile of gear, composing a song. Garu comes over and offers her a hot cup of bitterbean. Kevin keeps away from her, so she doesn't get a chance to ask him what he was talking about last night. Marcus calls for all of them to gather their things, and then they follow him into the dungeon called the Blister. Most of them have different experiences about this place. Kimmy, Kevin, and Mercy were locked in it. Marcus says that his future self dies in it. And of course, the succubus Dircea was trapped in it by the forces of Northern Desirata. They walk through the long tunnel, sloping down, and come to a huge domed room full of rotten furniture and several life-size statues of Sheesh, Mper's version of orcs. Marcus explains to the others that this is very common for Sheesh to make statues from their excrement. It's a way of showing that they own this territory. They follow the hallway past the cells that they were at one time imprisoned in, and then down the great hall towards the gate. There is a large room ahead of them, and their target is the door at the end of it. They cautiously enter and start towards the big door. Suddenly, the large iron door shudders and groans as if something's trying to push on it, and then a large bestial hand opens the door, and they see a giant's face. Marcus yells for Mercy to get out of the way before the door flies open.